Hi, my name is Taylor Salter. I belong to Artesia FFA. The title of my speech is Then, Today, and Tomorrow. The year is 2036 on a local dairy farm. There are no people, just a bunch of cows walking through a system of robots. The automated systems of tomorrow. Flashback to now, 2026. About 50% of American agriculture is driven by automated equipment, and this percentage is continuing to grow. People fear change. However, is change always a bad thing? Let's talk about it. The automation of agriculture, then, today, and tomorrow. The cotton gin that Eli Whitney invented in 1793, which he then patented in 1794, set the stage for the growth of technology in agriculture we see today. Before automation, the agriculture industry was labor-intensive, relying on manual labor and primitive tools. With America becoming the pinnacle for immigration and trade, demand began to increase, but there is only so much one farmer or rancher can do. Between the 1700s and early 1900s, about 90% of Americans were directly related to agriculture. As demand for agriculture byproducts began to increase, citizens moved away from their family farms, dwindling the production of food and fiber for the nation. Eli Whitney and John Deere opened the floodgates of production agriculture. Their innovations in agriculture allowed farmers and ranchers to supply the demand without the reliance of paid workers and immigrants. Through these floodgates poured the ideas of inventors such as Cyrus McCormick with his mechanical reaper in 1831, Jethro Wood in his invention of the plow with interchangeable parts in 1819, and John Froelich, who created a gasoline-powered engine that moved both forwards and backwards. All three of these men, as well as the many other contributors, made production agriculture so much easier. Without their hard work, where would America, or even the world, be today? Today, in 2026, 1.2% of America's 349 million population are directly related to agriculture. That is approximately 2.6 million Americans feeding our country. So how do they do it? The minority feeds the majority through hard work, long days, no days off, and automated systems. Let's take a look at the dairy farms. In 2024, I had the opportunity to attend the National FFA Convention Expo. While on the way, my advisor set up several places for a chapter to tour related to the agriculture industry. One of these stops was Fair Oaks Farms. Have you ever heard of Fairlife Milk? This growing brand of milk comes from Fair Oaks Farms. This place caught my eye. With 35,000 acres dedicated to their production of 30,000 gallons of milk a day, they are by far the coolest operation I've seen. One of the most interesting parts about their tour was that they had a barn dedicated to the use of a 72-cow rotary parlor, also known as a dairy go-round. However, even more impressive was a barn dedicated to automated milking. This barn was fully run on automation. Very few humans in sight. Collars around the cow's neck signaled sensors for gates to open and close. Every so often, the manure scraper system would come and clean the alleyways in the barn. While impressive, there was still one thing that confused me. Why was this barn smaller than the others we had seen? With 36,000 cows on their operation, only 780 cows were in an automated barn. Our tour guide explained to us the reason why there were so few cows in the automated barn was because these cows don't produce as much milk, and the robots are safer for their production than the carousel. One person asked the question, do you think every barn will eventually look like this one? His answer was a simple no. He then explained that the amount of milk being produced by the cow, which was then collected by the robots, was not enough to meet their quota, and ultimately the expenses outweighed the benefits. The benefits being that with the robotic system, there were less employees, and it was safer for the cows that don't produce as much milk. So this begs the question, what will agriculture look like tomorrow? In 2036, farms will range from being semi-automated to being equipped with fully automated systems like weeding robots. Inventors hope to come up with ways that will help farmers and ranchers do more with less. They work to make use of artificial intelligence, or AI technology, that will help farmers and ranchers with decision-making and come up with plans that will help support sustainability and profitability. Ag Daily News reports in one of their recent articles that artificial intelligence is revolutionizing farming, especially amid labor shortages. With so many benefits, why are people holding back from automating their farms and ranches? Innovations like weeding robots, AI-generated data, and robotic milking aren't always the solution. Family farms simply do not have the money to sustain these costs and still make a profit. Automated systems can help farmers and ranchers, but can also damage their operations in the process. Big companies like Fair Oaks Farms are able to sustain these costs because they have the finances to do it. But even they know not to rely on an automated system. As my chapter and I sat watching the robot milk the cow, our tour guide explained to us how they can't always rely on the automated milker to get the job done. At the time, one of the systems was down and being repaired, showcasing the ineffectiveness of the robots. Fair Oaks Farms has not given up on the automated systems of tomorrow. They continue to use them as a way to promote the dairy cow's welfare. While it's okay to be afraid of change, we as agriculturists must be open to it if we hope to support the ever-growing population of 8 billion people. We must also support our local family-owned operations who cannot financially support these systems. The 1% must work together, support one another, and be open to change if we hope to feed the 99%. We must remember the past and embrace the future. Thank you.